All right, 2 days in a row we're talking about this company. I don't want to turn this into a tattooed chef channel, and I definitely don't want to turn this into a bashing Jeremy channel, but unfortunately these two seem to go hand in hand the last couple days. And we're going to look at some more things about tattooed chef that weren't mentioned in the last video. If you didn't watch out, please go ahead and do so. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. One of my goals is 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. You never know what we're going to make videos on. My primary form of investing is mutual and index funds. VOO, SCHD right now are my two ones to go to. And I just put that out there so you know where my head's at, I guess. But today, Jeremy ended up putting out a video. It was titled Huge News for 5 of My Stocks. And I'm always on YouTube. That's like my pastime, I guess. That's what I do in my downtime. And I saw this video come up, and right away I clicked on it because I thought, what's the chances he actually talks about Tattooed Chef due to their latest news on having to extend and not even meet the extension of the 10K filing. And wouldn't you know it, he did end up talking about Tattooed Chef, but there's kind of a caveat.
But this year is just that year of like, it's a make or break year for the company. They're either going under or this baby's going to make it, and we've got a good opportunity to make some actual real money long term. But
So something to note here, he actually said they have an opportunity to make some real money. I want to show you something real quick. So this is a stock percent gain calculator because I'm stupid and I don't know basic math. And let's just say Tattooed Chef sits around $1.20, which I think it's like $1.24 right now. And let's say your average price of Tattooed Chef, and I think this is around Jeremy's average price, don't quote me on that because I'm not certain, but let's say it's $10 a share. In order for it to get to break even, right, back to $10 a share, it would have to go up 733%. Now maybe his average share is actually a little bit higher, maybe it's 12. If we look at that, 900% it would have to go up in order to just break even. And he's talking about making real money. But the most important part about this, and the most important news I think, and we're going to show you why I think that came from this particular article.
Bought out or to get an investment from somebody or something like that, okay? And it looks more like they're on the lines of, just putting in that work here, okay? So in November 2022, the company announced a series of initiatives designed...
Is its filing of its 2022 10K. He starts when he talks about Tattooed Chef, ignoring this whole top part about the 10K and going right into how they're saving money. I want to tell you why I think the top part, the first half, and half of the whole title of this article is the most important. But here's a few more things to note that he also talks about in this video. The company expects cash at December 31st, 2022 of approximately $6 million. That's super low. If we go ahead and look at their cash quarter by quarter, we can see last quarter they filed, it was 14.22 million cash and cash equivalents. So if they went from 14.22 down to 6, they need to raise money quickly. And really, there's two main methods of doing that, right? There's either debt, which interest rates are really high right now, and it's a risky business, so good luck with that. Or we're just going to issue more shares, which at $1.20 something, that can kind of decimate the stock. And by the way, I mentioned this in all of my Tattooed Chef videos. If I sound negatively towards this company, it's because I feel that way. I actually own some puts that I bought on this company. And I also mentioned this, if I sound biased, it's because I am. But it's not really bias, I'm kind of stating fact. So some other things they brought out in this article, they said preliminary results for the year ended December 31st, 2022. These are unaudited, so who knows if it's actually true or not. But the net revenue for 2022, and I don't understand this, is expected to increase to $234 million compared to prior guidance of 235 being the low range to 245. How is this an increase when it doesn't even meet the low range? Unless they mean it's an increase from the last quarter. I don't know. They also say gross margin for the full year of 2022 is expected to be approximately -4 to 5% compared to prior guidance of +0 to 3%. Wow, that's great. Oh, and something else, they reached an agreement with CVS Pharmacy, which Tattooed Chef branded entree bowls are launching at approximately 6,000 CVS stores. And I mean, who doesn't go to CVS to buy frozen food? Now sure, there might be some highlights in this, and I'm not going to focus on that because really the most important part of this whole article is in this first paragraph right here, which we talked about in yesterday's video. Feel free to go check that out, watch the full thing. But long story short, they filed a Form 12B-25 saying they couldn't file their Form 10K with their yearly results by its due date. And it's not expected to do so within the 15-day extension. So that got me thinking, are they susceptible to being penalized for asking for an extension and not being able to file even within that extension period. And so I found this article here on the Columbia Blue Sky blog. It's the Columbia Law School's blog, and they are studying law on corruptions in capital markets. And they state right here, conversely, companies that fail to file within the allowed grace period, so if they file that 12B-25 to say, hey, I can't file my 10K in time, can I get an extension? And they fail to do so within the grace period or extension, are subject to a variety of costly penalties, including deregistration by the SEC, delisting by stock exchanges, the inability to raise capital through issuance of public securities, and potential debt covenant violations. I'm not going to pretend I know what all of this means, but that doesn't sound good. So if I'm piecing all of these things together right here, they have $6 million in cash at the end, so they say, of 2022. If they say they can't even file the 10K during the grace period or the extension, these things are on the table that I just mentioned. And yet Jeremy didn't even seem to mention any of this in his video.
You know, I look at all these companies that are very important, right? I think Impossible Foods is a very important company. I think Oatly is a very important company. I think Tattoo Chef's an incredibly important company. And, you know, to see any of these companies go under that, in my opinion, are very important to this movement.
And like I said, I don't want to turn this channel into a bash Jeremy channel because I don't want my channel to revolve around that. But this guy, you know, the more I watch him, the more he seems to piss me off. Because he's one of those typical YouTubers that, hey, you know, I did all of these things really wrong, but the one thing that turned out to be right, let's only focus on that. And I don't think that's a great way to learn. I think it can also be seen as misleading. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? Really, it's all up to what you believe. But hopefully this is the last time I talk about this guy for a while. We're going to go back to making regular, everyday kind of videos. At least I hope so. And I hope to see you in a future video. Thanks so much for watching, and take care.